Welcome to Narayana IAS R&D. Thank you very much for coming here. So we warmly welcome you on behalf of my team
Thank you.
my Vice President, sir. Sir, we would like to learn few things from you. Like most of our aspirants wanted to learn from you.
Don't say lunch. You want to share a few things.
Yes, sir. We would like
Learning is a mutual process. Yeah.
Yes. Sir, what inspired you to take police services?
See, if I had to be brutally frank, I never aspired to join the Indian Police Service. My father was in the IAS, so I was always looking to get into IAS. The first year, maybe I would have made it, but then I would have got a very distant cadre. Somehow I wanted to stay back within the home cadre, so I took the exam again. Then I looked at the merit list. There was nobody above me from Andhra Pradesh at that time who would have made it to the IPS. I knew I would get my home state. Perhaps that was the main reason why I joined IPS. Because I wanted to be among the people whom I understand and the culture in which I have been brought up. Looking back, I think that was the right decision to join IPS. Otherwise, I was in IRTS for a couple of years before joining IPS.
Okay. So, sir, as a parent now, your children are also into services. What are the kind of challenges you face as a father of, aspirant?
The first thing we should remember, I have two in my family who have got into the civil services among my children. First thing we must remember is when to interact with them and what subjects and where to keep off. Like Sunil Gavaskar used to tell,
Yes, sir.
a good batsman is one who knows which ball to play, which ball to leave.
Yes, sir.
A good leave also is a good game in cricket, like that. Particularly, you should understand the psyche of your child, the candidate who is taking the exam. We have to mold ourselves as parents to that. Most of the times, the mistake we commit is we carry too many anxieties,
Yes, sir.
uncertainties in our heart. Knowingly or unknowingly, we keep on transferring it onto our children and putting more pressure on them. Already, they are under tremendous pressure
Yes, sir.
with the type of very unpredictable nature of the exam. They are under tremendous pressure. We should not be adding on to that pressure, number one. Number two, when we understand a child, whether he requires any help, sometimes staying away from them itself is a great help for them.
Yes, sir.
I was also very anxious when my son was taking the exam. But it's my wife who would come and say, sometimes he should not even allow me to go towards his room. Like the mythological Puranic Saindava, she would come and stay on the way and say, no, don't go near him. He is doing his work, let him do, don't interfere with him. So we have to understand what he needs. Just give him to that extent. This exam is such that unless the candidate has the worth in him, that fire and zeal in him, nobody can get him into civil services. Not the parents, not the institutes, etc. We can create a very favorable environment for them and give them a little help here and there. Every parent has to understand this. I keep handling a lot of candidates year after year who keep coming to me. One thing that I keep seeing is the over anxiety of the parents. It creates tremendous amount of stress in the candidates. It worsens the situation. Already he is in a very competitive and a very difficult situation. You are adding on to his anxieties, tensions. Whatever you can do to maintain his health, to maintain his psychological health, to see that he is relaxed, to see that he is motivated. If we can do this much, and maybe here and there some material, etc., if you can research and then make it available to him, that's good enough. Otherwise, let him ask what he wants.
Yes.
Just supply that to him.
So you kind of saying that you need to create space and right resources for them.
Exactly.
And encourage them through their lows.
Exactly.
If they are so.
You should never think that you are a mentor or a teacher to him. You should always think that you are a facilitator. What he wants, just supply it to him. And then here and there nudge and tell and see that he is psychologically very comfortable while preparing for the exam. But unlike any other exam, this is a very long drawn process.
Yes, sir.
Even if somebody is going to make it in the first attempt, one whole year. There is a time lag between the prelims itself will take some preparation. Then there is a time lag of few months before he takes mains. Then again a time lag
Yes,
for
sir.
the interview. It's a one year whole process by the
Yes, sir.
time the results come out. So that's why for a long period of time you have to maintain their health, their psyche, as well as he should have that burnout syndrome should not set into them.
Yes, sir.
Should not set into them, doing too much at one time and then running out.
Yes, sir.
Even now I'm saying some candidates who have qualified for the interview, I was telling them not to rush to Delhi too early.
Yes, sir.
2 months, 3 months advance, they have gone there. And then as they're approaching the exam, their anxieties are increasing. They are feeling highly monotonous, taking too many marks and too much of preparation.
Yes, sir.
So it has to go on an even and a comfortable pace.
Yes.
So all these are important because UPSC is testing a lot of attributes in you. Whether do you have those attributes tomorrow when you become a civil servant to execute your job
Yes, sir.
properly over a period of 35-40 years. That's why this exam is like a test match, not like a T20 or a one-day match.
Yes, sir.
T20 you plan out and then you keep on doing session by session. Same way you'll have to do here.
Sir, nowadays UPSC examination is becoming more volatile and it's unpredictable completely.
Exactly.
People are also saying that UPSC is unpredictable public service commission nowadays.
Yeah.
So in this kind of ecosystem, what is that single piece of advice you give to aspirants to keep the medal with him and to proceed further in preparation?
See, I've been seeing civil services right from 1978, civil
Yeah.
services examinations. I'm really happy with this sort of uncertainty.
Yeah.
But only one factor where I'm a little uncomfortable is too much of chance factor also has to come in year after year into
sir.
this exam. If you keep that away,
Mhm.
then unpredictability is something I am very comfortable with.
Yeah.
The reason is, what is it? Tomorrow you become a civil servant. You are heading a district or heading a police force in a district. See, when you are getting into those sort of jobs, every day you have a challenge.
Yes, sir.
Ready-made answers are not available.
Yeah.
You have to think, apply your training, knowledge, your intellect, and then come up with solutions
Mhm.
to solve that particular problem.
Yes, sir.
Even then, there is no guarantee every time you are going to succeed
Yes, sir.
by applying your decisions. But then, 8 or 9 situations out of 10, you should be able to succeed.
Yes, sir.
1 or 2 times, you may fail. You are bound to fail. So, in a way, if you see, this civil services examination also is the unpredictability here is training you for the job. It is testing you whether you are able to handle uncertainties. The biggest uncertainty is in the prelims itself.
Exactly.
Prelims itself. I can definitely tell you, even after years and years of preparation, lot of information, knowledge base, most of the candidates will not know more than 1/3 of
Yes,
the paper for sure that we are going to solve. The remaining 2/3 is what?
Yeah.
Many say it's guess work. It's not merely guess. It's a highly informed intelligence guess that you are forced to make there.
Yes, sir.
So what is that UPSC is testing there? Testing the quality of your mind,
Mhm.
whether you are logical in your thinking, whether you have sufficient practical information base,
Okay.
and then whether do you possess sound common sense. These attributes. These are something that a candidate has it in him
Yes, sir.
and he cultivates right from his childhood. So unless somebody is a well-rounded, well-groomed, he possesses that sort of an intellect, it's very difficult for them to clear even prelims. Forget about mains and this one.
Exactly.
Mains poses a different type of challenge again, because you may know the subject, you may be able to write it, but there is nothing like editing and writing here.
Exactly.
Everything has to go on one flow.
Yes, sir.
You pick up a topic, 150 words, you can't fall too short, you can't exceed at all.
Yes, sir.
And under those constraints, every word that you put in
Yes,
on the paper has to have a value,
Mhm.
has to have a relevance,
Yes, sir.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
How much time are you getting to tackle one question? 7 to 8 minutes.
Exactly.
1 or 2 minutes will go with thinking. In 5 minutes, you have to write 150 words. It's not easy unless it's a highly trained and a disciplined mind.
Mhm.
So that attribute definitely they're testing there.
Exactly.
And another thing that we are seeing now, with the passage of time, see, opinions used to matter when it came to personality test.
Yes, sir.
But now slowly that has seeped into mains
Mhm.
and also into prelims,
Exactly, sir.
opinion-based questions.
Right now, yeah.
If CSAT, second paper, for instance,
Yes.
in prelims, or even in paper 1 also, somewhere or the other underlying factors, what opinions you have, that also is getting reflected in the way that you answer your questions.
Yes, sir. Most of the times, these questions are arising in the minds of UPSC aspirants when they are taking lengthy preparation, like one attempt, second attempt, third attempt, fourth attempt.
I have seen people taking 11 attempts
11 attempts.
and made it ultimately 11th attempt.
Yes, sir. So the
Yeah.
questions are being asked in different communities now. Do it really worth? So after getting into services, do it really worth the kind of satisfaction or the kind of lifestyle we derive? Do it really worth from your experiences? We would like to know that.
I would say it is worth it still.
Yes,
I can give a very practical example. In my own home, my son got in
Yes,
the
sir.
year 2016, he wrote 17 batch he is in.
Yes, sir.
He had a very lucrative, he is from BITS Pilani.
Okay.
He had very lucrative options.
Yes, sir.
Financially, which were much more rewarding financially
Yes, sir.
than what you would get in the IAS.
Yes, sir.
Still, when the time came when a decision had to be made, I had a dialogue with him.
Yes.
I told him clearly, see, this is what you will get if you follow your line, academic line.
Yeah.
Or if you get into civil, this is what is going to be it.
Yes, sir.
So he was comfortable. He was telling, okay, I'll try for civils if I get in. Now what he gets here may not be even 10% of what he would got outside.
Yes, sir.
But life is far more satisfying here.
Yeah.
You are relevant to the society. And with all the talk of deterioration in civil services, the opportunities, the atmosphere getting highly vitiated, with all this also, still today, for many well-groomed youth in this country, civil services is a huge option.
Yes, sir.
Many times number one option for them.
Yes, sir.
Option for them. Otherwise, million youth in the country will not be taking this exam year after year, coming from highly informed backgrounds.
Yes, sir.
There should be something in civils. Otherwise, just like that, they are not coming and doing it.
Yes.
Year after year, it's getting, with the opening up of the economy, with a lot of new professions coming up.
Yes, sir.
But still, many are putting it as their number one option when
Yes,
it
sir.
comes to the career choice. So it's worth it.
Yes. Sir, in the present ecosystem, that the information explosion is there. Before, when you compare to the times you got selected, there is information explosion, and similarly, the state services like Telangana State or Andhra Pradesh State or UPSC. So most of the students are confused. What kind of attributes they're really testing in the candidate? What they're exactly looking for? So can you suggest 3 to 4 attributes these public service commissions completely look into?
You see, he has to be a well-rounded personality first.
Yeah.
Why I'm saying this is, many are putting too much of premium on the information base. They're thinking that is knowledge.
Yes, sir.
Here, it's not merely the information. Knowledge is a little higher word.
Yes, sir.
Wisdom is even a higher word.
Yes, sir.
So they are not merely testing your information base,
Yes, sir.
how you are applying that knowledge. Ultimately, how wise you are
Yes, sir.
in exposing that knowledge and then interpreting that knowledge and then writing appropriate to what is asked for.
Yes, sir.
These are some of the attributes that they're asking for. Many candidates, unnecessarily, they start logging in 16 hours, 18 hours a day.
Yes, sir.
This is not required.
Yes, sir.
Second one is, they put too much of premium on information.
Yes, sir.
Information can only take you to an extent. Beyond that, there are a lot of other attributes. How you are going to analyze that information.
Yes.
How you are going to articulate that information.
Yes, sir.
Articulation again in two ways. One is when it comes to the written papers,
Yes.
mains for instance. It's your articulation in writing, your choice of words, how concise you are, how you are arranging your thoughts, in an organized, logical way? Is there a common thread running throughout? Those sort of attributes are definitely called for.
Yes, sir.
But then when you go to the next stage,
Yes,
that
sir.
is the personality test stage, your oral presentation, starting from your body language, the choice of words, how you are delivering it, how effective you are, how influential you are in speaking. All these attributes are definitely going to count.
Yes, sir.
So ultimately, it's a life of preparation till that particular stage for that youngster.
Yes, sir.
That counts. That gets reflected. I would definitely say, when you take a competitive exam like this, UPSC one, maybe state service commissions also have started molding themselves after UPSC. This is what we have been seeing. So it's going to be an overall reflection of your personality, how you are going to handle this exam, whether you are going to be successful or not. Of course, given the huge candidate base, 1 million candidates taking in the case of Civil Services UPSC, so 1 lakh and 10 lakh candidates taking in there. So some luck factor here and there plays a part.
Yes, sir.
Papers being a little unpredictable, favoring a few subjects, sometimes technology oriented, sometimes CSAT oriented, sometimes maybe veering towards humanities, etc.
Yes.
Any examination pattern that much of uncertainty will definitely exist.
Yes, sir.
To that extent, your fortune, your luck also requires.
Yes, sir.
But let's not get into luck factor too much.
Yes, sir.
If a candidate has worth, if not in first attempt, second attempt, third attempt, somewhere he is going to make it.
Exactly.
Somewhere he is going to make it. That's why you require too many attributes for this.
Yes, sir.
Starting from information base, how you are going to analyze it, how you are going to appropriately answer to that particular question, and then ultimately, how you are going to articulate your choice of words, choice of language also is going to matter.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, in various designations you held in your service, one of the important position you held is for anti-corruption. So where most of the aspirants will be interested in. What are the challenges in the present corruption scenario which we got, and what is one case which you tackled with?
I'll not talk about cases because that will be a little unprofessional.
Okay, sir.
Because whatever I did in that particular thing. Once
Yes,
I have moved over, I should not be talking back.
Yes.
But then one thing I can definitely tell you, corruption in society, degradation of morals, etc. Yes, this concerns, is a matter of concern for all of us.
Yes, sir.
For all of us. On one hand, you are going to improve your governance systems,
Yes,
going into IT and then making it totally contactless. Money also, when it is getting transferred to a beneficiary, direct benefit transfers, DBTs. All such platforms have been built.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, we have seen a time, 30, 40, 50 years back, you want to get a small certificate from a government, certificate, caste certificate,
yes, sir.
or nativity certificate. It used to be a huge problem.
Yes, sir.
Corruption used to be the thing that used to run into our minds.
Yes, sir.
Now, all those things have become very comfortable.
Yes,
Sitting
sir.
where you are able to access what is your right. But then you cannot say that corruption has reduced in any way.
Yes, sir.
Or it's going to reduce. Probably the corruption, anything to do with it, giver and taker, both of them, it has to do more with the mindset, grooming, your morals, your ethics.
Yes, sir.
Rather than how you improve your governance systems.
Exactly.
Governance systems will help, not as if they do not, they help. But as long as a candidate keeps on thinking about corruption, what is that extra thing that I'm going to get it? A person.
Exactly.
Whether it be this side of the table or that side of the table.
Yes, sir.
That side of the table, he thinks that unless somebody takes money, he is not going to do my work.
Yes.
This side of the table, why should I do it free for him? I can earn something extra.
Exactly.
This is what needs to be tackled. This has to be tackled at homes from childhood, teachers.
Yes.
If you ask me, the biggest deterioration has taken place there.
In education sector.
Yes.
Yes.
For example, religion.
Yes.
Religion has a place. Religion has two aspects to that. I'm not getting into the spiritual aspect.
Yes, sir.
If you see in a mundane way, the religion has a ritualistic part.
Yes, sir.
It has a moralistic, ethical part. Now we're emphasizing too much on ritual part and not getting into the ethical and moral content of the religion.
Exactly.
That's why once you understand the religion properly and follow it properly, you will not only be totally secular,
Yes, sir.
you will not be communal, you will be religious, you will
Yes.
not be communal. Like Mahatma Gandhi was.
Exactly.
Mahatma Gandhi, the greatest example, how a person can be deeply religious without being communal.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So those sort of morals we are not teaching the children
Exactly.
in childhood. We're putting too much of premium on only an academic performance, too
Yes,
much
sir.
of pressure there. We're not teaching them the values.
Yes, sir.
We're not showing them, demonstrating them the values by ourselves practicing it as parents.
Exactly.
We're telling them one thing, success at any cost in life, that is what is going to be the mantra for you.
Exactly.
So ethical, unethical parents are not concerned about it.
Exactly.
So that's where the problem is coming. The second one is the teachers. The type of teachers we had, they would punish us, they would be very severe with us. I'm talking of 40, 50 years back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
If we are doing something wrong, morally wrong. Today, how many teachers take up that responsibility?
Exactly.
Their relationship with the student is ending with academics, starting with academics, ending with academics.
Yes.
This is an unfortunate situation. Unless you rectify these areas, the society is not going to be comfortable.
Exactly.
Materialistically, you may be very well off,
Yes, sir.
but mentally, you are not going to be comfortable.
Yes, sir.
And then money is going to keep on playing factor. And you are looking at other reasons. When you look at the public life, the type of political leaders or politicians that we had
Yes, sir.
as role models when we were into schools in 1960s and 1970s, and the type of leaders that you have now,
Yeah.
that also is making a huge difference. The type of amount of money that was being spent in politics, the type of lifestyles that many of them maintain, the huge amount of properties and wealth that they acquire.
Yes, sir.
And people are every day looking at this.
Exactly.
And with the information revolution, with the electronic revolution, everything is coming into your homes.
Yes, sir.
And televisions, social media, so much of information is coming. How corrupt one is, and how rich, and what is his lavish lifestyle that he has. And they are becoming the models.
Exactly.
I also want to be like that. I also want to be successful in life. Successful life in life means what? Only from one criteria. Whether I am financially, economically successful or not. So that's why when we talk of integrity, financial integrity is only one aspect. Intellectual integrity, moral integrity, these aspects we are not looking into that.
Exactly.
For this, the seeds are sown when a child is very young within the family. Parents, grandparents. Grandparents used to play a big role.
Yes, sir.
Now, where are the joint families? Where are the joint families? Only nuclear families. So parents can only transfer that much to them. If grandparents also are staying with them, they have an accumulated knowledge of another 40, 50 years extra.
Exactly.
So with that, the way they handle the children and tell them what is right, what is wrong, etc. That also is to impinge on their minds. But it's not there now.
Yes, sir.
So too many societal factors.
So for the corruption case, the best answer you have given is that it is in the education itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
So even for the UPSC, you have said the same, that it is the compounding effect and accumulating effect that a student learning will have at the examination, not just 1-2 years of preparation.
One thing, now all of us are concerned about drugs.
Yes, sir.
I was Commissioner of Police of this city.
Yes, sir.
When I was Commissioner of Police, we have seen a lot of drug cases in the colleges, in the universities, etc. This is something that would have been unheard of 40, 50 years back.
Exactly.
Teacher would take the responsibility for the overall grooming of the student.
Yes, sir.
If one student was indulging in copying in the class,
Yes, sir.
the amount of punishment he used to get, the type of way that he would get debarred, something unimaginable.
Yes, sir.
He can't face a teacher. The teacher will not spare him. That would be one. And he would be looked upon as a black sheep even among his peer group.
Yes,
Other
sir.
students, look, he was copying, start copying it. Now, no longer, no shame is attached to copying now.
Yes, sir.
No shame is attached. No teacher gets into this. And if drugs are coming into education institutions, what are the teachers doing? What are
Yes,
the
sir.
managements doing? Without their knowledge, or they're just turning a blind eye to that, or limiting the teacher and the student relationship only to academics. This is what is happening. See, in our ethos, in our culture itself, you have too many things. Upadhyaya, Adhyapaka, Acharya.
Yes, sir.
How many grades are there? What are you wanting to be? Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
At some stage you have to be Upadhyaya, and some stage you have to be Adhyapaka, and some stage you have to be Acharya. Like this, different levels. Many do not understand. That's why the teachers are failing the students. The families are failing the students. And of course, the youngsters also, they have too many influences from outside, easy access to a lot of things. So it's not a right evolution of society if you see the happiness-wise, content-wise, and then cohesion-wise within the society.
Sir, in this scenario, right now we are, as Narayana IAS, R&D into education. What kind of suggestions you give for our team so that we can mold better children further? What kind of suggestions you give for our team?
It's a big challenge, let me
Yes, sir.
tell you, because our days were different.
Yes, sir.
When I took the exam in 1978
Exactly.
for the first time. It was very, very simple at the time. And then we did not have this 3-stage exam at all. We had only straight away mains,
Yes, sir.
followed by interview.
Yeah.
Number of candidates also is very few. The type of information that is required also was limited.
Yes, sir.
And exam also was mostly city-based.
Yes, sir.
Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai. After Delhi, it was Chennai actually. Then Hyderabad, Calcutta. Most of the candidates, to be elitist, they come from those backgrounds and get selected. In a way, it's good now. Like Indian cricket team, we don't know from which nook and corner a player gets selected. Earlier, in a test team would mean what?
Yeah.
Only from 5 cities of India, the whole test team is to come. But now from any corner, Rinku Singh might spring up from somewhere, or Dhoni might come somewhere. So that way it is really good. The whole examination pattern has become totally democratized. Now you have to cater to different backgrounds, different backgrounds in the sense not only academic,
Yes, sir.
social backgrounds, economic backgrounds, etc. That's one good thing, because even a student coming from absolutely poor background, totally rural background, he can be an aspirational. Yes, I can
Exactly.
get in. There are a lot of them who are getting in, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That way the whole process has got democratized.
Exactly.
There is one thing that you need to understand. The second one is the emphasis on English, good speaking, etc. This used to be important those days, but not now.
Okay.
Because UPSC interview also is getting conducted in vernacular languages.
Exactly.
They are going to judge you by what opportunities you got in life,
Mm-hmm.
whether you have made use of them properly and then groomed yourself well, isn't it?
Exactly.
A candidate coming from rural background, poor background, he is going to be assessed differently when it comes to personality test.
Okay.
Compared to a candidate who is coming from a city-bred background or JNU, from a very privileged background, financially, economically, family-wise.
Yes,
So we have to understand this huge variation from that end of the spectrum to the other end,
Yes, sir.
and cater to all their needs,
Exactly.
particularly for the personality test. In written examination, again, you have to have a grade leveler for all this.
Exactly.
And then give them not merely the information, and you have to really set them to thinking, because analysis becomes important. And the articulation part, when it comes to the main examination, or the personality test, when it comes to oral articulation. So it's a big challenge.
Yes.
It's a big challenge. And then the bar is going up year after year.
Exactly.
So you can't rest contented that this year I have done research and then given the material, etc. It's a constant, continuous process that goes on. Keep on looking at what is happening and then keep on giving them comfortable. But then while doing it, spoon feeding is not going to help.
Exactly.
You have to involve the candidate also to that. The material that you develop, the method that you develop, have to involve the candidate also into that process. He has to think, he has to strain his mind.
Yes, sir.
Only when you do that, you are developing that quality of mind in him, which will help him in tackling both prelims and the mains. It's quite a challenge.
This analytical mode made it more difficult examination in this country or world also, we may say.
Absolutely. Now what? I was telling you at some point, the opinion-based questions.
Yes, sir.
Opinions only mattered when in the personality test, till recently.
Yes.
Now they have found their way very conveniently into mains. What do you think?
Yes, sir.
Means what?
Comment.
My thinking and your thinking will vary.
Different.
When 10 lakh candidates are writing, out of it 12,000, 13,000 have been filtered and taken into prelims,
Exactly.
mains. So all of them, each one is going to think in a different way,
Exactly,
isn't
sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
So he has to write his opinions.
Yes.
And then in a very imperceptible way, it has found its way into prelims also now.
Prelims examination.
Prelims. CSAT.
Yeah.
You take CSAT, for example, I'm not getting into the mathematical part of it.
Okay.
The second comprehension, that part of it, even the best minds, after the examination, let them sit in the evening and drop a key.
Yeah.
I'm very sure that 30 to 40% their keys will not match.
Exactly.
Keys will not match.
Yes, sir.
So that's how making a candidate think, giving that firing up their minds to think properly,
yes, sir.
logically, is all that is another thing, challenge for the R&D team.
Exactly, sir. So that is the reason why we are trying to build a community, take more inputs from you people and try to shape and take up the challenges, aspirational challenges we are trying to solve them. And one last question I would like to ask, sir. Sir, who is your reference group? Who influenced a lot in your life to make your choices or to take up these opportunities?
My father. Undoubtedly, my father.
Okay.
What happened, though my father was in the IAS,
yes, sir.
It's a very traditional type of setup. Mothers have a huge role in your coming up, in your character building, and then in your health, how relaxed you are, and all this type of thing. I always looked up to my father.
Yes, sir.
He was my first guru. And even he never pressurized me to do this, that, etc. He left totally free. But he had one thing in this thing. You should relate to society. That's why, though a lot of opportunities came up, but still he will not allow us to go anywhere near elite schools. All my education, my brother's education, my sister's education, all of them went on only in government schools. 100% government schools. Number one. Second one, you will be amazed to know, all my education was done in Telugu medium. Even graduation to some extent I did in Telugu medium only.
Okay.
Proper interact with the English language, later part of graduation and substantially into the post-graduation when I was doing that. That is the time. Otherwise, I did not feel in any way that pursuing my education in the mother tongue, in Telugu, it came in the way of my intellectual development.
Exactly.
Never. So these are the attributes that he gave us, the father gave us.
Yes, sir.
As a government servant, he was definitely a model for me. The way, the courage with which he will take decisions, the integrity with which he takes decisions, was something unimaginable. So actually, I would still remember when my father's demise happened. This happened in 2015. At that time, one of his senior colleagues, he came to look up. Later, he sent me a letter also. Preserve that letter.
Okay.
You know what he mentioned in that? He said, look, your dad and me were colleagues. There was a time when any important decisions had to be taken, and that had to be approved by the political leadership, particularly the chief minister.
Okay.
We would always take your dad along with us to him.
Okay.
Once he starts convincing, the CM would definitely say yes to that.
Okay.
Then he gives the underlying reasons. Why was this possible? He said he had 3 attributes in him.
Okay.
Number 1, throughout his official career, he never asked for a single posting or anything for himself from the political leadership.
Okay.
Second one was man of very high integrity, high principles.
Yes, sir.
The third one was he would make very sound decisions and proper decisions based on merit.
Yes, sir.
This image he had cultivated over a period of 35 to 40 years of his service.
Yes, sir.
Now, that is the reason why he was valued, why he was, why his opinions and views were definitely taken by the political leadership. And then in the end, we see some of those qualities coming into you because he was your father and you adored him. That is number 1. Second is please cultivate further and then maintain those qualities.
Okay.
So that's how I would say that for my official life, definitely he had the profound influence. So much so, even when I was Commissioner of Police or in Hyderabad, when I was faced with difficult situations in my career, etc., the way he would simplify and then tell, look, why are you getting muddled up with all this sort of thinking? Take these 2 attributes, make a decision, whatever decision comes out of it, that is going to be the best decision. He would simplify and then definitely help that. So some of these things definitely helped me in my career. That's why he was definitely my role model.
So the inheritance of values you got from him, you are giving to your children.
This is like Shankarabharanam.
It's like
from generation to generation.
This is the secret of handling the dilemmas in your career also, right, sir?
Somehow, yeah, it was because I also had some very difficult postings.
Yes, sir.
When difficulties arose, also sometimes I have been asked to go and handle.
Yes.
Commissioner of Police was a very difficult posting because Telangana movement was raging when I was put into that.
Yes.
Similarly, in East Godavari, in Guntur, in many other places where I was put as SP, things were going wrong. Then you were asked to go there and set right. It helped. It helped in making an image for myself and deriving satisfaction also in handling those situations. And it also trained me for the further life.
Yes.
And this will help you in your personal life also ultimately.
Exactly. So I would like to take away the single message that values are required. This is the input for the parents or for the stakeholders, for R&D, for everyone in the society who wanted to achieve something. It is inheritance of values which does more thing than anything other than
knowledge is easy to give, information is easy to give, but values are very, very difficult to give.
And to keep also, it is very difficult to keep.
Very, very difficult.
Yes, sir.
Unless a person himself is a role model, he can't give morals to others.
Exactly.
Because more than your words, your conduct and your past definitely will ring bells in their minds.
Exactly. So, thank you very much for giving us so many insights from your career and from your personal life also. This is like, a lot to learn for our aspirants, and we'll keep looking for your, valuable inputs for various stages. We'll come back to you again and again. I think you will be helping us further also in our curating processes in R&D, sir. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Nice speaking.
Yes, sir.